muscles of the anterior arm are very easy. There are only 3 muscles in the anterior arm. But first what we need to do on this model is remove the deltoideus muscle so we can see the origin of 2 of these 3 muscles. So removing the deltoideus muscle, easier said than done, shows us the origin of one of the heads of the biceps brachii muscle. The most superficial muscle in the anterior arm is known as the biceps brachii muscle. If I remove the muscle from the model temporarily, you can see that it has a split at the top. It has 2 heads. One is more medial, one is more lateral. Those are known as the long head and the short head of the biceps brachii. The short head is the one that is more medial, named because it comes directly from the coracoid process of the scapula down into the muscle belly. So a fairly straight, short line from the coracoid process into the biceps brachii muscle. The lateral 2 of the heads is known as the long head of biceps brachii. It actually has origin off of the scapula at the supraglenoid tubercle. Its tendon runs across the head of the humerus and then down through the bicipital groove to the muscle belly. However, on these models it does not appear that this long head is longer. That is due to the way the companies painted the models, but trust me, the long head, which looks shorter on the model, is the long head. The longer looking muscle or head is the short head. So biceps brachii muscle. It does have a function at the shoulder, but rarely at our level do we talk about the function at the shoulder. The function of the biceps brachii is for the forearm, movement of the forearm. Biceps brachii is a flexor at the elbow. It is also a strong supinator. If I remove the biceps brachii muscle, we will have a view of 2 other muscles also coming from the coracoid process of the scapula, and inserting into the medial midshaft of the humerus is a muscle called the coracobrachialis, so named because it comes from the coracoid process and inserts into the brachium, the coracobrachialis. The coracobrachialis functions to flex and adduct at the shoulder. The 3rd muscle of the anterior arm is known as the brachialis muscle. Its name literally means the arm muscle. The brachialis muscle has origin from the anterior lower half of the humerus, and it inserts into the coronoid process of the ulna. This makes the brachialis muscle a flexor at the elbow, and that is its only function, is flexion at the elbow, so we refer to that as a pure flexor at the elbow. Now if we turn the model around, we can see the muscle in the posterior arm. There is only 1 muscle in the posterior arm. Some books will list 2. There is some argument as to whether the second should be posterior arm or posterior forearm, so I will present it as posterior forearm. The muscle in the posterior arm is the triceps brachii muscle. Triceps means we have 3 heads. It has a long head which comes from the scapula and will join the other 2 heads to insert in the olecranon process of the ulna. It has a lateral head which comes off of the upper posterior shaft of the humerus, also joining the other 2 heads to insert onto the olecranon process of the ulna. And if we rotate this slightly, we can see a medial head coming out from underneath the long head. That medial head comes from the lower posterior shaft of the humerus and again joins the other 2 heads to insert into the olecranon process of the ulna. All 3 heads acting together, we will have extension at the elbow. The long head of the triceps brachii can function in extension, hyperextension, and adduction at the shoulder joint.